welcome to Thursdays at 3 with Alice. Today we are going to be cooking from the Whole30 Fast and Easy book. If you've never tried sheet pan cooking, you don't even have to be on the Whole30 plan to appreciate the sheet pan cooking that we're going to do today. So today's recipe is barbecue pork chops. Let me just see if you can see the picture. Delish! Barbecue pork chops, new potatoes, and I threw in asparagus. So let's see, where should we start? Do you own a sheet pan? Because you need something that isn't caked with nastiness that's been in your family for 20 years to be able to do this well. And so today I have, this is the large sheet pan. And this one, oh, I wrote down the dimensions. Let me see if I can find it. And it's not here. So anyway, we're gonna build barbecue pork chops and new potatoes. So we're gonna start with our potatoes, and if you'll just bear with me, I'm gonna do all the prep right now, but then I'll post the recipe and you'll see that you roast the potatoes for 10 minutes, and then you roast the, roasting is just a high temperature cooking. It's not broiling, but it's not really baking, because we're gonna roast at 425. So we're gonna prep our potatoes, we're gonna prep our pork chops, and then I'm gonna pretend like I took it in for 10 minutes and then I pulled it out and that kind of thing. So I'll be right back, but you'll at least get to see my hands as we do some cooking. And the good news is the new potatoes were on sale at Publix today. So the recipe called for, because you know, it's Whole30, the recipe called for half a pound of potatoes. So I did measure just to see, but honestly, if you're not really watching what you're eating, but you just want to make sure that you're having enough for your family, I think I figured it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think I got to 9 potatoes the last time. Yeah, that's about it. So 9 little fingerling potatoes is this recipe, but it doesn't really matter because once we cut them up, well, you don't have to worry about what size they are. So this is the Pampered Chef Veggie Wedger. You could absolutely do all of what I'm about to do with a knife, but could somebody time me, Lisa or Joanne, somebody that's watching, could you time me and see how long it takes for me to cut up these potatoes? You don't have potatoes, so we can't have a race, but that's how fast it is. You don't even actually have to flip it over. I was just showing off there. But this was designed for you to just pop the top off of a bell pepper and then put it on here and you wedge your veggies like that. You could do an apple, but you wind up with the core. So sometimes I'm just like, I'll just use my apple wedger. And I'll just show you guys really quick in case you don't have one. This would be the apple wedger. It still breaks the apple up into, is it 8 pieces or 10 pieces, but it cores it at the same time. So this was kind of the birthplace of the wedging, and now we moved on to the veggie wedging. Oh, but let me tell you, you know what works really well in here? An onion. Who wants to cut onions? You just put the onion in there and it goes to town. Ta-da! And in case you were wondering, it actually has a serrated blade. I don't know if you can see that. And that's why it just cuts through things just like that. And it goes in the dishwasher, which is fantastic. So as you guys know, I'm not really a fan of olive oil, but I am a fan of avocado oil. So I'm gonna just add a little bit of avocado oil. The recipe calls for a tablespoon, but you know, some of it bakes off. I don't think it's that big of a deal if you add a little extra. This is a really exciting part. You're just gonna toss your beautiful potatoes. Oh, these look so delicious. And then a little bit of salt. And again, if you have dark counters, you may not even be able to see the salt, so I usually put it in my hand so I can see what I'm doing. I got a little bit of pepper. Now here's the thing. The Whole30 book suggests that you use thyme. I'm not a thyme fan, and I'm not a rosemary fan. So I grabbed 2 of my very favorite Pampered Chef rubs, which are 3 onion rub and the garlic and herb rub, because I just want my potatoes to taste good. It's really just a sprinkle. These guys are gluten-free. It's not like they have added sugar to them. They're just dried spices. So I'm gonna go ahead and add those to my new potatoes. How many of us avoid potatoes because you think, oh, I shouldn't eat those? Well, you know what? Unless you have some glycemic thing, it just seems like anything in moderation, right? So here we are. This is the large sheet pan. You can do cookies on here. We're gonna roast our food today. We're gonna start with the the little new potatoes, and then we're gonna go to the pork chops. So the beginning of the recipe calls for you to choose half of the pan. And that was really it, folks. Choose half of the pan to roast your potatoes. So we're gonna pretend to do a little movie magic, and these potatoes went into the oven and they came out, and it's been 10 minutes. So now I have to get ready with my pork chops. And this is the cool part. This is very Whole30. If you've never done something with ghee before, it's just clarified butter, which means they take out, if I believe I have this right, they take out the dairy proteins so that you don't get the people who are dairy intolerant. But you can get this at like Walmart and Publix and everywhere now. I think I bought that one at Whole Foods a while ago. I'm going to use my fancy little pastry brush from Pampered Chef that I love, that goes in the dishwasher. And that's what I really had enjoyed with Whole30, and that they don't shy away from allowing you to use a butter. Just use the right kind. And please, 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 please don't use the processed margarine stuff. Oh my gosh, I'm surprised my parents are still alive with as much spray butter as we bought throughout the years. So we got our pork chops ready to go. Let's see if you can get a really good look at that. I mean, they're about 1/2 to 3/4 of an inch thick. And we're gonna just salt and pepper them, because everything is salt and pepper. Salt and pepper. Even any of those cooking videos I watch online, those are salt and pepper too. And again, I don't trust myself with the salting. Maybe I'm just a control freak, I don't know. And so we're gonna flip it over. Hey Lisa, I'm interested to know, do you have a glass of wine right now? Because most of your Facebook pictures have you with a glass of wine. So I know it's early in the day, but I just was curious. Okay, so voila, this is as hard as it gets. I've got my big sheet pan. I'm gonna put that on there. Woo! It went in the oven, another 10 minutes, it came back out. Now for some barbecue sauce. So you're gonna barbecue sauce up that, and technically they say be sure that you use Whole30 compliant, which means like no sugar. Well, I hate to tell you, but we went to school in Gainesville, and that's the birthplace of Sunny, so this is Sunny sauce. And I don't know, let me just take a minute to say, go Gators. Don't tune out just because you hate the Gators. We're playing Tennessee this weekend, so we can get it back up there. So I've saved the very best for last. Got our food, let me just pop back up again. So we're about to make asparagus, and I'm not a huge fan of asparagus, and I think it's because my mom may not have cooked it appropriately when I was growing up. And so I really have found if you season it the right way and don't overcook it, you can make some delicious asparagus. And guess what? If you can get into the parking lot at Trader Joe's, this is the most amazing, let me get up there really quick. It toasts so beautifully and it's so delicious. So let's say we put the pork chops in another 10 minutes, we're ready to go. And then let me just point down just so you're still with me. We've got our asparagus. I'm just gonna go ahead and toss that with my hand. We're on, basically when I put the pork chops back in, for the last 10 minutes with the barbecue sauce on it, I'm gonna put the asparagus. So I've got my asparagus. They're very thin stalks. It's not gonna take very long. And wait until you taste these toasted seeds. Delicious. So we're ready for some movie magic. Ta-da! So movie magic reveals that you can have a delicious sheet pan dinner in about 25 minutes. The recipe actually called for me to use parchment paper, but I don't have to because this has a nice nonstick coating on it. We have our pork chops. We have our toasted seeds. Ooh, you know my very favorite part. Time to plate our food. And honestly, this is about the portion that you would receive in Europe, not the extra large meal from McDonald's. Let's see if I can finish this off. So here we go. Here's what's for dinner. Sheet pan barbecue pork chops, new potatoes, and asparagus. So thanks for joining me for Thursdays at 3 as we made a recipe from, like I said, Whole30 Fast and Easy by Melissa Hartwig. She and her husband wrote the first book, and I will go ahead and post this recipe and you can feel free to make it for yourself, but I highly, highly, highly encourage you to invest in a really good pan. This is the cookie sheet, and it's made out of an aluminum steel combination. So the cookie sheet and both of the sheet pans, actually 3, there's a smaller size, all 4 of them have the rolled edges, and the aluminum conducts the heat, and then the steel keeps its shape so it doesn't warp and all that kind of stuff. So if you're looking to invest in that, let me know, and thanks again for being here. Have a great day.